So getting ready to go back out, and this will be hopefully the last day that I have to go out and do logging for this year, possibly for a month or so. And I've got my last box of C83 93 drive link chain, and it's going on this bar right here because I don't have time to file that. Only have so many hours in a day that are daylight, and I got to make use of them cutting, not working on my saw. So that'll go into the pile, and then this winter, when I have time, I'll go back and try to salvage these chains and turn them into a useful firewood chain for the rest of the year. And I guess that goes to one of the points that has got to me over the last couple of years. Sometimes you just don't have time. You got to take a hit financially, possibly. I get these for pretty cheap, but still, it's money. It's going to cost me more to kill an hour, you know, setting the thing up right and making sure all the rakers are perfect and stuff like that on a chain like that than it is to throw another chain on there. You know, if it was just a normal sharpening, you do that. But when they get rocked like this, you know, or this, in this case, I hit a piece of barbed wire, just put another chain on, keep going. At the end of the job or between jobs, then I can go back and start filing and doing all the fancy stuff. So anyway. One more, just one more. You know, this is the hard part. It's nice to have a little help, but we have an hour to pull out three trees, 4 trees actually. And we'll be lucky to get that done. Now it's on me. Let's see if I can get it out of here. A lot of log right there. Well, the way the log sits, it doesn't give me any down pressure. So I had to pretty much come across the hill. I couldn't come up the hill, right? So I'm gonna just take it off this end and put it on the other end and hope I get a little bit of lift. But there was no way I was going up that grade right there with this log in the snow. And there's tension on that, so it's gonna be fun getting this off. I'm going to have to pull the pin and pull that pin out. And the tractor's going to go forward on me. right, we got this tree right here. It actually is kind of a neutral lean, where if you look at the center line of the tree and you work your way up, the top of the tree is going that way, which I don't want it to do. The major part of the trunk is going the other way. So if I was just to cut this by itself, it'd probably go back. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to go there. So this is definitely going to be a wedge job tree. The weight of that tree wants to go off to my left. So with that in mind, I got to make sure I have a big enough open face cut, but enough hinge that I can get behind it with a wedge and jack it up over. So the hinge has to be strong enough to do that. And also in this tree here, there's pretty significant root flares. So I'm going to probably have to cut back into some of the root flares so I have enough blade to get across that whole tree. That's a beautiful tree. So I'm just going to put the camera down and let it run. Figure if I'm going to get a lesson, I might as well put it on film.
There you go.
So, looking up, you know, you see how that branch is coming back?
Yep.
There is no guarantee that I'm going to get this tree to go the right way. It wants to go that way. Bad. I want it to go the other way. Now, fortunately, the snow machine is
Out of the way.
kind of underneath that. So, I would put the snow machine over there. And, because this stuff, once it gets going, it don't stop. So being the winter time, I gotta make sure I got a place to work. This is a very, very big tree. Now we got 4 we're gonna take down today. I'm not gonna video all 4. I've done a lot of it. Might go that way.
I'm watching it.
It likes to hang on the hinge when it's got to lean like that. It'll sit there until I push it over almost every time.
Yeah, yeah, it's going.
There it goes.
One more time.
But you see how that hinge is? See the face cut?
Yeah, I seen it. I was watching you.
See how I had to cut a little more out of the face cut to get the higher back cut?
Yeah, I seen you. I was watching it.
So what I do is I feel these, right? So I don't think I have to bore cut into that from the front because that's kind of rot. It's not in pole, you know, in these older trees.
Yeah.
But if we had a couple of trees where that was white all the way across, you'd see this section right here pull a foot and a half up into the tree. The one thing I want you to pay attention to is how I enter the bore cut, because that's where a lot of people get hurt.
The tip. Yeah, the kickback.
Yeah. The other reason why you do it that way, where you have that 3-point piece in the back and then the hinge in the front, is especially when you do this for the first time, you're not going to be looking up. So you make that cut, and then when you're checking to make sure you haven't cut too far on the far side hinge, you get out and you look to see whether or not there's something that's forming up there you didn't plan on.
Right.
That's survival. And then once you have your bore cut all the way done, you get the saw out of there and step back, because the tree's not going anywhere until you release it.
Right.
And it gives you a chance to figure out a place to run. Is there something going to trip you, like that one log there I saw? You move that.
Right.
But that's your last chance, because once you cut that back strap, it's either coming at you if you don't have the right kind of wedges and lean, or it's going the way you want.
Right.
But you have no control. Now this is a big ass tree right here. And this one here is I can tell you right now, it's going to be hard to wedge over. I've got a lot of root flare to play with to make myself a lever.
Right.
You know, a lot of guys don't get that. A lot of so-called pro tree guys don't get why you leave the hinge towards the front of the tree, the 80% of the diameter and all that crap. Is if you don't have enough of a flat spot in your back cut to work from, the wedge has no mechanical advantage. If that makes any sense. All right. I didn't plan on those two, but they'll do. Well, I looked up there and I saw the top entanglement.
I seen
It's
it.
like, screw that. Let me get those out of there. All right. See if it'll restart. That's about what I need for holdwood on these. Now, if that was all rotted on the inside, you'd need a little more. That's a fairly healthy looking tree, what came out of it. So I shoot for that 2.5 inches on both sides. That tree's not going anywhere right now because it's sitting on the hinge and on the tail. On the tail, 3-point. Now in a windstorm, obviously, it might go. So now we have a chance to look at it. It's not going anywhere, and start, reevaluating what we should do. My hunch is I'm going to leave that hinge because I need to jack it up and over, and I'm going to sacrifice probably 6 to 8 inches of pull, but I know it up front because I'd rather have the control of the tree and cut off, a little bit of that root flare.
Your pull is still going to be in the outside barkwood, though.
It's going to be all over the place.
You think it'll pull up into the center?
Now,
with that 2
2
inches all the way to the outside, do you think that'll pull back up through?
Maybe. Now, if I thought it was like it wants to lean that way a little bit, when I see like that, if I think it's going to be a significant lean, I'll stick a wedge in on that one side to sort of support it, to help it go straight versus want it to fall back that way, put a little bit of upward pressure. But in this one here, I think my biggest problem is not going to be that. I think my biggest problem is just simply to get it up and over. And I think that's going to be a significant issue. Because the one thing about these stupid trees is once they get going, if they come back on you, you can't get a wedge in. Yeah, see, it's already closing up on this side right here. All right.
I'm going to get back out of the freaking way. This is going to be...
All right. Let's see if we can wedge it over. And there it sits, because it wants to come straight back on us. And we got to persuade it to go the other way. Feels like it wants to cooperate.
It's going. Every time you hit it, it's moving over an inch up top.
You got to remember a couple of inches down here, a couple of feet up there. So
Good breeze and that would be all over.
love it. Now I can tell you the one thing you do never want to do is have someone convince you to tickle the face cut. That is definitely a bad move on a scenario like this. Oh,
It wants to go.
I was going to have some.
Right.
But part of what you try to do is not have those. Tell you what, they're persistent if nothing else.